Picture this, a Tuesday night that smells like popcorn, sneaker rubber, and the faint ozone of 8,000 camera flashes. The arena lights blaze down like twin suns, and every scoreboard chirps with that cheery boop that says, "Tonight, something stupid is going to happen." The commissioner steps to center court wearing a smile that looks suspiciously like chaos in a necktie. Behind him, a velvet-draped cart. Inside the cart, to basketballs the size of small moons, polished like oranges at a fancy fruit spa. Ladies and gentlemen, he booms. We've heard your feedback. Read your tweets and accidentally subscribe to your conspiracy podcasts. You wanted more action, more scoring, more what did I just watch? So effective immediately, NBA games will now use the balls. At the same time, a gasp rolls through the arena like a wave of natural gasps. Somewhere in the upper deck, a fan drops a hot dog that never lands. Mascots stop mid-backflip. A teaser cannon refuses to fire out of sheer existential dread. On the benches, players blink like someone just changed the rules of gravity. One point guard clutches his lucky headband and whispers, but which ball is destiny? A veteran center, who once swore he had seen everything, slowly removes his mouth guard and says, "I was wrong." A rookie grins so wide his smile needs load-bearing beams. The ref crew huddles near the scorer's table. The crew chief flips open a rule book as thick as a lasagna and reveals a fresh insert labeled Appendix W, double ball procedures, please don't panic. The bullet points read like they were written on a roller coaster. To jump balls, simultaneous. Try not to bonk foreheads. Each ball has its own shot clock. Yes, that's 2 buzzers. No, we can't make them harmonize. Possessions can overlap. If confused, follow the chaos. Goaltending now comes in stereo. Coaches may challenge 1 ball at a time, no 2-4-1 coupon. The national anthem singer returns reluctantly to perform a second anthem for Balby. It's the same melody, but 1 key higher, like a caffeinated echo. By verse 2, both balls have their own emotional arcs. Then comes the reveal. The ref lifts the velvet cloth. The first ball is classic orange, dignified and dimpled like a wise citrus. The second ball is slightly more orange, somehow orangier. It gleams dotted winks, or maybe the arena lights winked. It's hard to tell. The PA announcer voice like a roller rink DJ introduces them as if they just made All-Star. Give it up for Ball A and its chaos cousin, Ball B. Warm-ups are an optical illusion. 1 guard dribbles the balls at once like an octopus in sneakers. A big man practices boxing out to invisible ghosts. A sharpshooter lines up from the corner. Pump fakes with Ball A, then casually sinks a 3 with Ball B while eating a pretzel. The camera zooms on a coach's clipboard, which now looks like a spider web of arrows, exclamation points, and what might be a doodle of a screaming whistle. Tip-off time. To refs step into the circles. 2 centers square up. To jump balls rise like twin suns over a cartoon horizon. For a split second, the balls hang there, glistening, and the universe asks, "Are you sure?" The horn blares. For hand swat, both balls pop skyward, split in the air like a wishbone. Every neuron in the arena fires at once, and as both possessions collide into the first roaring, ridiculous play, the game officially exits reality and enters the highlight reel of dreams that should not be but absolutely are. The first possession begins like a normal NBA game, if a normal NBA game were choreographed by a circus clown with too much caffeine. Ball zips to the left wing, where a point guard dribbles like his sneakers are on fire. Meanwhile, Ball B bounces straight to the right corner, immediately picked up by a rookie who looks like he just found a golden ticket. The Willy Wonka's dunk factory. To separate plays unfold at the same time. The defense panics. A power forward tries to guard both shooters by extending his arms like a windmill, spinning hopelessly as if auditioning for a helicopter license. The scoreboard operator poor soul starts sweating as he realizes he needs to track the shot clocks, 2 sets of points, and possibly his sanity. The first basket, ball swishes clean from deep, crowd erupts, but just milliseconds later, Ball B is dunked so hard the rim squeaks like a rubber duck. The arena doesn't know whether to cheer, scream, or call a doctor. It chooses all 3, and that's when the chaos officially escalates. A fast break erupts 2 of them simultaneously. 1 guard sprints coast to coast with Ball A, while across the hardwood another guard does the exact same with Ball B. They meet midcourt like the trains on the same track. For a split second, both try to cross over the same defender, who simply collapses into a starfish shape on the floor, hoping to avoid becoming a human pretzel. The coaches, oh, they're losing it. One is screaming follow ball A, while his assistant yells nitrogen monoxide. Ball B. The players glance at the bench, confused, and end up guarding the mascot, who is just trying to juggle nachos. The referees blow their whistle so often it sounds like a rave. At one point, two refs call opposite fouls on the same play. They stand nose to nose, both clutching their whistles like dueling pistols. The arena waits for a showdown. Finally, they shrug, toss both fouls onto the scoreboard, and jog off like nothing happened. And then comes the three-pointer incident. One sharpshooter gets both balls and his hands don't ask how, with cartoon concentration. He sets his feet, crouches like a spring, and launches ball A with his right hand, while simultaneously flicking ball B with his left. The crowd rises. The announcer screams, "Double rainbow from downtown." Ball A arcs beautifully. Swishing the net, ball B smacks the backboard, ricochets into a defender's head, and somehow bounces back into the hoop. The ref signals to three-pointers at once, throwing his arms in circles like a malfunctioning windmill. The scoreboard lights up with double digits. The commentators can't keep up. 6 points in 3 seconds, one yells. Or was it 3 points in 6 seconds? Or is this quantum basketball? Somebody call NASA. By the end of the first quarter, the stats are nonsense. 58 combined points, 27 turnovers, 3 players accidentally guarding the same ball rack on the sideline, and one referee curled in the fetal position, whispering just one ball, just one ball. The buzzer sounds. Both balls roll to center court, gleaming mischievously. The crowd is on its feet, chanting, one more ball, and somewhere in the commissioner's box, a smile grows wider, because maybe, just maybe, 3 balls is next. If the first quarter was pure chaos, the second quarter became a biology experiment, survival of the fittest, or at least survival of whoever could dribble without bumping into their own teammate. Some players adapted instantly, like they'd been waiting for this role their whole lives. One guard suddenly turned into a human octopus, dribbling both balls at once while spinning defenders into dizzy cartoons. He threw a no-look alley-oop with ball A, then, midair, kicked ball B soccer style into the same dunker's hands. The dunk was so explosive that the rim coughed. Meanwhile, another player discovered his true calling, distraction master. He'd fake a shot with ball A so convincingly the defense leapt like synchronized frogs, only to sneak ball B in for an easy layup. 2-for-1 special, the announcer bellowed. Somewhere, a fast food chain immediately trademarked the phrase, but not everyone was built for this new double ball world. Take the poor veteran center big, lumbering and confused. Every time he grabbed a rebound, he froze, clutching ball A like it was his only child. But then ball B would bounce right past his knees, and by the time he realized it, the other team had scored. He kept shouting at refs, traveling, double dribble. I don't care, pick one. But the refs just shrugged, drowning in whistles. Then came the point guard meltdown. He prided himself on court vision, on knowing where every player was at all times. By 2 balls, his brain overloaded. He dribbled ball A, spotted ball B in the corner, passed to it, and then realized he had just passed to himself. Both balls rolled into his lap. The crowd laughed so hard that one fan dropped a soda onto the mascot's head. Sticky chaos everywhere. And oh, the sharpshooters. For some, this was heaven twice as many chances to bomb threes. One player launched ball A from half court while dribbling ball B to the paint. He scored 6 points in one play and flexed so hard his jersey ripped. Another tried the same trick, except both balls collided. Midair like the meteorites, they dropped harmlessly onto the court. The crowd booed, the player bowed like it was Shakespeare, and the mascot gave him a 3-10 scorecard. Even the fence turned surreal. Shot blockers tried to swap both balls at once, waving arms like inflatable car dealership mascots. One guy managed to block ball A perfectly only to get dunked on by ball B 1 second later. The scoreboard operator was so confused he just gave both teams points and hoped nobody noticed. By halftime, it was clear some players were thriving in this circus. Others were drowning in double dribble despair. Coaches started labeling players as ball A guys and ball B guys like some weird new zodiac system. But the real winners, the fans, they didn't care who was lost or who was dominating. They were witnessing the cartoon come alive. The balls flying at once, double dunks, twin fast breaks that was basketball turned into pinball. And as the halftime buzzer rang, both balls rolled into the tunnel side by side. Glowing like partners in crime, the crowd roared, begging for more madness. Little did they know, The real chaos was waiting for the mascots, the refs, and the halftime show. Halftime. Normally, this is when fans stretch, mascots juggle, and refs hide in the tunnel to drink Gatorade and question life choices. But tonight, with 2 balls, halftime transforms into a carnival gone rogue. The first warning sign, the mascot race. 5 mascots line up with Ball A and Ball B as their batons, the horn blares. They take off like furry rockets, sprinting, tumbling, and tripping over giant clown shoes. Mid-race, Ball A bounces into the stands, where a fan immediately slam dunks it into a popcorn bucket. The crowd goes wild. Meanwhile, Ball B vanishes completely until someone notices the arena's giant inflatable blimp floating overhead with the ball wedged in its nose. Then comes the halftime dunk contest. A brave rookie grabs both balls, climbs a ladder onto a trampoline, and attempts the world's first double ball windmill slam. For 2 glorious seconds, he soars like a superhero carrying twin planets. Then boom, he collides with the rim, balls explode outward, and the backboard shatters into a rainstorm of glass confetti. The crowd, ecstatic. The janitors, filing retirement papers immediately. The referees, meanwhile, are unraveling. One tries to adjust both scoreboards at once, ends up inputting for 100 for error on the Jumbotron. Another blows his whistle so aggressively it gets stuck in his throat. He honks like a goose. Every time he breathes, the crew chief pulls out the rulebook again, but this time the pages literally fall apart like tissue paper. He stares at the confetti and whispers, "The rulebook, it gave up." The fans, they're divided, half chant more balls, while the other half demand refunds because they came to watch basketball, not college ball. A group of kids invents their own game in the stands using nacho trays as hoops and mini pretzels as basketballs. The arena is now hosting 3 sports at once. And then absolute meltdown. Both balls accidentally roll into the tunnel during a timeout. For 30 seconds, no one has a ball. The players just run laps around each other like confused hamsters. The announcer panics and tries to narrate anyway. Team A has possession of oxygen. Team B responds with cardio. The crowd boo laughs in stereo. When Ball A finally reappears, it's bouncing down the aisle with 5 kids chasing it like it's Easter morning. Ball B somehow ends up in the mascot's hot dog cannon. Without warning, the cannon fires it at 60 miles per hour. It rockets across the arena, nails the scoreboard, and ricochets back onto the court where a player casually catches it and drains a 3. The refs stare at each other, shrug, and count it. By the end of the 3rd quarter, everyone has lost control. Mascots are refereeing, fans are coaching, refs are dancing, and the 2 balls, they're no longer just basketballs, they're celebrities. Every time they bounce, the crowd cheers like they're rock stars. As the buzzer sounds, both balls roll to midcourt, gleaming under the lights. The scoreboard reads nonsense. Team A, 121. Team B, 117 hot dog cannon, 3. And the announcer, voice cracking, shouts, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is nitrogen monoxide longer basketball. This is evolution." 4th quarter, 2 balls, 2 teams. One arena teetering on the edge of cartoon collapse. The game is tied. Both balls are live. The clock ticks down. Players sprint like it's the final lap of a wacky marathon. Ball A rockets down the left side. Ball B zips down the right. The defense splits and panic. Half the team chases Ball A. The other half goes after Ball B. And one poor defender just sits cross-legged at midcourt, rocking back and forth, whispering, "Pick 1." The climax builds. Ball A's handler weaves through traffic, dribbles between legs, spins, and rises for the slam. At the same time, Ball B's shooter launches from deep, a rainbow arc soaring toward destiny. The crowd is standing. Mascots are chewing their own heads. Refs are holding hands and praying. For one frozen second, time itself bends. Both balls travel simultaneously toward both hoops, a dunk and a 3-pointer. The highlights colliding into one impossible frame, and then, chaos maximum. The dunker with Ball A slams so hard the rim bends downward like a sad cartoon banana. At that exact instant, Ball B swishes perfectly through the net of the other basket. The backboard explodes. The scoreboard short circuits. The Jumbotron flashes insert coin to continue. The shot clocks fry and begin counting backward. The crowd goes berserk. Confetti cannons fire themselves. The arena lights flicker like a disco apocalypse. Ball boys run in circles chasing nothing. The PA announcer screams, "Double buzzer beater," and faints into his microphone. Final score? Nobody knows. The scoreboard is stuck showing INFINITY infinity. Both coaches storm the court, waving clipboards that burst into flames from sheer frustration. Players are celebrating, but no one is sure who actually won. Some fans leave convinced they just witnessed the greatest game of all time. Others swear they were trapped inside a cartoon fever dream. And then, silence. The commissioner walks out, adjusting his tie, grinning like a maniac. He grabs a mic. Ladies and gentlemen, he declares, tonight we prove basketball can be more than a sport. It can be chaos. It can be comedy. It can be two balls. The crowd roars. Fans chant. Mascots cry tears of Gatorade. Somewhere in the nosebleeds, a child yells, "Next time, 3. The commissioner pauses, raises an eyebrow, smiles. "Don't tempt me." And with that, the lights cut out. Both balls roll to center court, glowing mysteriously, spinning in perfect unison. The arena shakes with the sound of 20,000 people screaming and laughing at once. Because this isn't just the NBA anymore. This is the birth of the double ball era.